clean up an edge on all of them, and then bring them down to final length. I'm going to go ahead and then start milling the parts. Not milling the parts, excuse me. I'm going to put the groove in the back and start laying out the part for the decorative inlay. But before I do that, I think what I'm going to try to figure out what to do is what the thickness of the back piece that will be ebonized will be. I don't think we're going to go fairly thick. We're not going to go too thick. We're not going to go too thin either. So what I got here is this piece, right? That kind of goes like that. All right, so this will get cut, but then the background, the back of it too, also needs to be cleared out. We need to figure out the best way to do that. I was going to do it with the dado set, but I think what might actually be the best way is to go ahead and kind of clean it out on an angle with a router. And I can probably take something, make a template, and then just continue to route out that area. So I need to make a list for the store tomorrow morning, which I need a bandsaw blade, and I think I'm going to need a router collet. Okay, what I decided to do, because I want the channel a little deeper, is I'm going to avoid the tenning. I'm going to drop the bit down, push it through to a certain point, shut the saw down, take it off. What that'll do is that'll give me a groove right in here that I can put the clips in, but not come all the way out to where the tenons are. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm taking this board and I'm clamping it to my fence, just with a spring clamp. And what that'll do is that'll give me a start off point to kind of measure the total length, so it'll be consistent on each leg. Now, that being said, I don't want to just use the fence because I don't want this piece to get bound up if something goes wrong behind the blade. I want there room to do its thing. So, but what I'll do now is that I have that lined up. I will move my fence over. I'll lock my fence down. So now, when I go ahead and cut, I will be cutting the same measurement each time. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just marking where the tenon would be. This isn't an official line. This is just for me to guide and make some marks for the leading and trailing edge of the blade. What I'm going to do is cut this groove, and I'm going to show you how I do that over at the table saw. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the height of this blade to 5/16. So I'm going to grab my pencil and the way. Now I made marks of where I want the leading and trailing edge to start, and I'll slowly lower onto the blade. Be very careful. Now, the reason I have my fence set up this way is for the camera. Normally I'm right-handed, so I kind of work the fence on this side, being a left tilt saw. So this is kind of more for demonstration purposes. It's hard to get the camera on the other side because of the wall. So, okay. completely shut the saw down so I don't chip anything taking it up. Now basically there I go. I just have a groove in the back. I can get the clips under. These arc parts don't really matter too much. It's this glue. I can get 2 clips right there and hold that top. That's good. I'm going to come in tomorrow morning, bright and early, and get a start in here. I want to run to the store, get a bandsaw blade so I can cut these pieces. I really got to get a lot done tomorrow. I need to finish up the aprons, all the milling, routing work that needs to be done on those. I need to finish and cut the legs. I got to get the legs at least to a point where I can inlay the banding. And I need to get the table dimensioned and cut to size as well as flattened all tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a super busy day. I have one more weekend left next weekend. But I really kind of need to be at the finishing point at that point, at least be putting the coats of finish on to make this deadline. So I really got to get the majority of it done this weekend. Okay, I ran to Lowe's and I picked up some bandsaw blades. I also bought this. So to see, it's a base router plate bushing set. So from Miles Craft. I got it at Lowe's, and I think it'll work for our template set. I think it'll work pretty good. Okay, so that's basically done. So I went to the store and I got that stuff. Now I am running late. Last night I had a Halloween party that I went to, and I had a great time, a real good time. Friends, hanging out. It was a lot of fun. But I didn't get home until 4 in the morning. That's how much fun it was. So, it's now close to 2. And I'm really technically just getting started. I slept until like 11:30. Ran out to Lowe's, got that stuff, came back, so it's a little late. So what I need to do first thing is I think I'm going to go ahead and figure out and resaw the wood for the ebonized inlay. It's going to be about this thick. And I'm going to cut it out of some scrap, real thick stock. So I'm hoping to get 3 boards out of each piece. Because I think it's like 1.5 inches too. So I should be able to get 3 boards. So what I'm going to do is I am going to resaw off a slab and then redo both sides, like replane it and then resaw it again, and then so I have the flat sides to clean up, and I should be able to easily get 3 pieces out of each board. So I should have enough to do all the sides. So I'm going to set up to do that, and I'm going to get going. I'm going to try to film as much as I can. It's going to be a little fast paced because I'm not going to really get a lot of time to film. It's crunch time, and we're approaching the 11th hour here, so I really need to get going. So, it is Monday night, 7 o'clock-ish, I guess. Just got home from work. I want to get some work done. Actually got some work done at work for this project. I brought in the little decorative scroll work piece with some microfiles and a knife, and I did some carving at my desk today. I'm really down at crunch time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this piece here, which is really just a scrap piece that I'm going to use to make the clips that hold these up. Why I have my dado blade still set up from yesterday, I'm going to go ahead and cut these to be the little clips. Now, what I need to do and what I want to do is this has to be trimmed down a little bit. Okay. Tiny little clips. They'll go into that groove, right? Screw up through, and they'll hold them on, hold the table, the aprons to the tabletop. So they're done. They're just kind of out of the way. I made them with a scrap piece. Well, I guess it's not a scrap piece if I'm using it. And I'll just set them aside. Okay. So now I got 100 million other things to do. One of them is, let me grab it. The tapers still have to be cut for these legs. And I need to do some work to my taper jig, which is kind of pieced together. I always planned on building a better one, and I never got around. Right now I wish I did, because setup would be a breeze. I have kind of a makeshift one. I'm going to have to rearrange it to get it to work. So let's take a look at it. It's basically, this piece has to line up with the edge there and with the mark I made on the bottom. Right? So I figured out what that's going to be. And I made marks. Now these blocks are in position for the legs that were on the media center last year. So these blocks have to be moved so I can position this. Okay, I just readjusted these blocks to screw them in. It's a temporary thing. I actually want to build something that has some nice tie downs. It'd be easy to make it repetitive. What basically happens is this kind of holds it at an angle. So when I make the cut, I create the taper.